Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Ask Us Anything. We have a very awesome special guest today. Thanks for coming out. This is Craig Robinson.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Little movie called Hot Tub Time Machine 2 coming out.
Yeah, it's you've been in just so many things over the last couple of years. You've been around for a while, but you're just everywhere recently. Let's see, Zach and Miri Make a Porno, Miss Marge, Hot Tub Time Machine, This Is the End, Rapturepalooza, Hot Tub Time Machine 2, and then, of course, The Office, which you were on for years and years, and a personal favorite of mine, Eastbound and Down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mine, too.
So anyway, we have a bunch of questions submitted by you people
on our
subreddit. Let's get right into it, starting with a little background on Craig. MadC117 asks, when did you realize the fact that you were more funny than anyone you knew? And how did you decide to become a comedian?
When did I realize that? I'm still waiting on that realization because I know some funny mother suckers. I decided to become a comedian. You know, comedy chose me. I was always very silly, and I was in college, and people would say like, "Oh, I was trying to remember what you said," or you know, always trying to repeat stuff that I said that I just, you know. Now you can call them bits, but you know, I was just saying stuff, and then it got to a point where I was watching stand-up comedy, and I was that just intrigued me so hard. I was like, how do you do this? And I was just kind of led to it. I used to watch remember MTV Half Hour Comedy Hour, and I was watching a bunch of like David Letterman back when he wore gym shoes and a suit. So I was just kind of led to it, and then it was the first thing I really took serious, and I started, you know, I would audition to host a show in college, like a World AIDS Day or something like that, and so I got a couple of those kind of shows going, and then because I figured if I could host and I could try my jokes, and if I wasn't funny, I could just introduce the next act.
Yeah.
So then. I started doing open mics, you know, just to take a little more, you know, another step.
Yeah, I've always wondered like what the open mic process is like how, because all comedians talk about like bombing and stuff like that. When was it that you knew like realistically when you were doing open mics that something hit, that you like really knew you were onto something?
Well, like I said, I was in college, and I did this song, the Booty Song, and I remember, you know, just the reaction I got to that open mic. I went to, it was a place called in Chicago. They called it Heckler's Heaven. It was at a place called the Q Club. I don't think it's there anymore. It's on the north side. And what happens is you get 3 minutes of not being heckled, and then you had an 8-minute slot. And after 3 minutes, they ring a bell, and you could get heckled. Or there were also 3 people in the audience with rubber chickens, and if you got all 3 chickens, you had to get off stage, right?
So like a gong show kind of thing, yeah.
It's like the Coliseum.
Yeah.
So the first time I signed my name up, all these like Chicago Titans, James Hanna, B. Cole, Corey Holcomb, Godfrey, they were just going up destroying it, and I was like, can you take my name off the list? Right. So the next week I said, no, I'm gonna do it no matter what. So the next week I went up and I got 2 chickens, and then I like closed out before I could get the 3rd one. And then the next week after that, I went up and I brought my keyboard, and that was all she wrote.
Yeah, so has that been a pretty if that's been part of your act since that early on?
Yeah,
like a standard.
Pretty much since the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, we saw you at the Improv probably last year, a year and a half ago, and I think you were like a surprise drop-in, and it was incredible because they have the piano set up there and everything.
Yeah, that's pretty much my home base out here.
Yeah,
I dropped in last week, I think.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. All right, let's get on to the next one from Tapod Har 1991, which it's going to lead into another one from Caesar Man. Who's your favorite stand-up comedian of all time, and why? And then I guess the next one would be like still working today.
Well, my favorite would be Richard Pryor. To get that honesty, that level of vulnerability, and you know, bring out and be that funny. He's the best. You know, he'll have you just crying, rolling on the floor, and his creativity, he's just genius. So that's my favorite, and I know I share that with a lot of comedians.
Yeah, definitely.
My favorite comedian working today.
Like the LA local scene alone is just like incredible. Like living here and getting to see all this crazy stuff. I'm sure that you have favorites here, or
You know, you ever hear Corey Holcomb? Corey,
I'm terrible at remembering these guys' names.
dude, Corey Holcomb, I'll put him against anybody. He will eviscerate a room. It's one of the baddest dudes to ever touch the mic, and from Chicago. So that's one of my favorites right now.
oh, awesome. See, do you want to take the next one?
All right, so now we're going to move into why you're here,
Yeah.
why you were sent here to speak to two strangers. Hot Tub Time Machine 2.
Yeah.
Hot Tub 2,
yeah,
February
so-
20. Hello.
I guess like before we get into the questions, if you just want to like set up the audience, like coming from Hot Tub Time Machine 1, where does this one take you guys?
This one kind of shows what we did once we got out of the hot tub.
Once you altered the course of history.
Once we altered the course of history. So I'm a music mogul. Lou Dorchin has created the internet. So that kind of stuff is happening, and then we go into what happens is Lou gets shot in the penis, like he said in the first one.
Classic setup.
Classic setup. So he gets shot, and then we got to get back in the hot tub, which I don't even know that they still have the hot tub.
Yeah.
Jacob is Lou's butler, but I don't even know that they have the hot tub. And then he gets shot, and then we have to go try to figure out how to save him, and then we end up going 10 years into the future.
And it seems like the movie kind of jumps around from all kinds of decades and places in time. Is that something that plays out in it heavily, or is it?
Does it seem that way?
It seems from the trailer that way, possibly.
Interesting that you say that. Well, I won't give.
Okay,
that
don't
kind of
spoil
stuff
it.
away.
Yeah, no spoilers.
All right, so yeah, let's get to these hot tub questions. Blair Ramsey asks, if you had a hot tub time machine, parentheses 2, what time would you travel to and why?
If I had a hot tub time machine too, what time would I travel to and why? I would probably go back to a time, and I would just keep it around my life, just because that's what I know.
Yeah.
But to a time when you remember the first time you fell in love? You remember that feeling? I would like to get that. I would go back to that and just enjoy it more.
Wow, that was way deeper than I
was so deep.
expected.
Knowing that it would never return again.
Oh,
Oh, Christ. Well,
Okay. What's next?
you wouldn't. So you would go back and you wouldn't tell your younger self to enjoy it. You would move him aside and experience the feeling for yourself.
I guess I would be like, hey, man, yeah, enjoy that, go ahead. And there's a lot of times that you ever not know that a girl's hitting on you.
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would probably like go back to those times too. Be like, oh, I know what you want. Years later, I would be like, oh my gosh.
Wake you up in the middle of the night.
All right. This is it. Okay. Now the guy's name should give this one away. It's gonna be ridiculous. So the Walrus guy, he asks, if you could fuck anyone from history, who would it be and why?
Anyone from history. Let's see. History. Probably Cleopatra.
Ooh, that's a great choice.
Great answer.
Classy lady.
Yeah.
She's, she would take down empires, So it must be something really special going on.
So you find
there.
power attractive.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
Perfect.
I'm reminded of, remember that episode of Family Guy when Cleveland was like, not one of you thinks power is sexy.
Oh, yeah. Was Hillary Clinton was he talking about?
They were doing a Would You Rather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Power is sexy.
So this is one that I had. Was it always your dream to have a titular line?
It must be some kind of hot tub time machine. When No, I guess not. But I'm assuming you're talking about the
When you turn
must
the
be some
camera.
kind of hot tub time machine.
Yeah.
Okay, I've always remembered when Eddie Murphy was in what is it with Dan Aykroyd?
Trading Places.
Trading
Yeah.
Places. Remember the part where he's like, "This is bacon." Like you were finding a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich. And Eddie Murphy turned to the camera and just like, he broke the fourth wall.
Yeah.
Or when Peter Sellers broke the fourth wall in one of the Pink Panthers, where he was trying to get everybody's attention and he just got frustrated and looked at the camera. So that's
More of breaking the fourth wall than
right than having the titular line. So yeah, in that case, I've kind of, I guess I dreamt about doing that or something like that, but the line just kind of happened.
yeah.
Well, that wasn't planned like that?
Well, it wasn't in the script. For originally Clark Duke, well, I mean, the line was in the script, but not that breaking the fourth wall. Clark was supposed to say, it must be some kind of hot tub time machine. And I think he didn't want to do it. And then I think even in the movie, he says, do I have to be the asshole that says it? And then I go,
Yeah.
must be some kind of and I pitched that to Steve. What if I just looked at the camera all hard, and the next morning it was on the call sheet.
It's not the most absurd thing in that
Yeah.
movie by a long shot. So.
Well, anytime we got too serious about something, I would go, look, the movie's called Hot Tub Time Machine.
Yeah. So I guess like with this movie and what you were just saying, in the lineup of movies and TV shows that you've done, there's a lot. It seems to be a lot of space for improvisation. Is that something that you like work heavily with in movies, or are these movies like kind of feel a little bit looser, so you're able to do things like that?
It does seem like the projects that I'm involved in, there's more room for that, and it's kind of happened that way. It's not like I could plan it out that way. And at first I wasn't, people were like, oh, there'll be room to play, and it's like, okay, but I went to Second City and stuff, so
Yeah.
and being on The Office, but it was always kind of like a little intimidating. And now that we've been doing it, I relish it. I welcome it. I look forward to what's going to come out of my own mouth.
Yeah.
It's got to be hard in that sort of environment, not laughing. One of my favorite clips of you is from Eastbound and Down, while
outtakes.
Ashley Schaefer is talking about his dream, and you're trying desperately not to break.
Yeah, Will Ferrell he's trying to break you. That's what he's trying to do. So he was killing us, and it was torture. Especially, you got him being silly like that. Then I'm staring in Danny McBride's eyes, and just a little twinkle will set you off. So yeah, those times are tough, but you get through it.
Was there like a improv line that you came up with in a movie or show that you're like extremely proud of, and you always go back to, and you're like, I did that, and then people might think it's scripted, but
that monologue from Knocked Up, like you can pretty much split it in half. The first half was scripted, and the bottom half was improvisation.
Because you get more like on her level, more like straight talking with her towards the second half, so that it feels more natural, I guess.
I told her, it's not that you're not hot, you hot. Okay, that was written, right. And then I said I would tear that ass up. So, and then that was mine. So it was like.
So yes, very much more serious.
So speaking of, I guess, trying to keep a straight face and breaking character, let's move on to talk about The Office. What was it like working with Steve Carell on The Office? And was it hard to keep a straight face
Steve
with him?
is like Will is he's going to get you. He's going to try to break you. And yeah, I learned a lot watching him. Just like, because he could, he wouldn't do the same thing twice. He wouldn't say it the same way twice. So so yes, it was great. What could I say?
Do you remember any particularly hard time you had staying in Daryl's character?
Actually, yeah. We were on the third take of okay, you remember the episode was called Negotiation, and it's the one where I'm trying to convince him to
get a raise, right?
Yeah, get a raise, and so he was going through the little tactics, and one of them was, "Do not speak first," right?
Yeah.
So, so I think his line was, "I'm declining to speak first." But okay, so it was the third take, right? So the first 2 takes, he said, "I'm declining to speak first," and I was cool. And in the third take, he like just started moving his head around, doing his stuff. And if you watch that one, you'll see like I kind of look away. You can see my smile, but yeah, that one stands out to me.
Is it? I have a question because this is one of the most like hilariously cringy shows. Was there any time where everyone was just like, "Oh, we're gonna fuck with people so bad, like people are gonna be like squirming around in their seats"? This like obviously Scott's Tots comes to mind, but like, was there like a goal on set at any point to be like, we're gonna make people squirm?
Well, that would happen in the writers' room.
Oh, okay.
And there was definitely some squirming, as you did table reads, but but yeah, that I guess that's what the writers might have been saying.
Okay, cool.
Let's move on to music.
Yeah.
You know a thing or two about music. You went. You studied music and then education and then worked as a music teacher after that. Is that true?
Yes, I taught it in Chicago. First, I taught in Indiana for a year, then I taught in Chicago for a few years.
Were you working on your comedy career at the same time as this?
Yeah, I started comedy in college, and then I got that bug there, and then after that, I was hitting the open mics. I was going to Second City. I was going to acting classes at Audition Center and at Act One in Chicago. So yeah, I was very busy.
Well, I guess this question's from me because I was reading about your pilot, Mr. Robinson, about the double life music teacher. So like, was it sort of like leading a double life between comedy and teaching?
Without a doubt. Especially because comedy and stuff, that's all at night.
Yeah.
So it was teach during the day and then doing comedy at night. And I was actually doing some security, like at a nightclub. So I was a bouncer. I wasn't a bouncer to go grab you. I was a bouncer to go get the bigger bouncers. Hey, they fighting over there. So sleep was hard to come by, and I would be late for school. It was terrible, but yeah, that's exactly what I was doing. I was like hitting that pavement, hitting a open mic every night I could find one.
All right, guys, this week's sponsor who helped us keep this show going is Loot Crate.
Yeah, we're very excited to have them on board and help sponsor the show and help the show exist, basically. I love Loot Crate because I actually get it every month. This one was sent directly to me, not by the company, but because I subscribe. And it's full of awesome stuff. I mean, Loot Crate is a monthly subscription box service for epic geek and gamer items and pop culture gear.
So for less than $20 a month, you're gonna get 6 to 8 items that include licensed gear, apparel, collectibles, and unique one-of-a-kind items, and so much more.
Yeah, you have until the 19th at 9 p.m. Pacific to subscribe and receive that month's crate. That's when the cutoff happens, and then after that, it's pretty much over.
That's it.
This month's Loot Crate is all about gaming, from tabletop to video games. So if you want to check that out, be sure to sign up and get it before the 19th if you want the gamer one. But they have cool stuff every month. It's great.
Yeah, so head over to lootcrate.com/ETC, enter the promo code ETC, and you'll get $3 off any new subscription.
It's basically free, and then you can do your YouTube unboxing videos, like all your favorite YouTube unboxing
you can
videos.
be an unboxing star.
I have a lot of fun opening it up and seeing what I get every month. There's usually some really, really cool stuff in it, at least for your desk or for your home, or some Groot socks, which I think is what's in here. But guys, thanks again for checking them out. They really do help us make this show great, and they help keep it alive. So if we want to keep getting guests like the one you're watching, Craig Robinson, help us out. Go use our promo code ETC at lootcrate.com/ETC. Now let's get back to our interview with Hot Tub Time Machine 2's Craig Robinson.
Did you ever run into students after hours at the clubs?
No, they were. I was teaching grade school.
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
That's
Keeps
good.
it separate, yeah.
Wouldn't that have been funny, though? Mr. Robinson. So Sparkling Butter asks, why is your singing voice so goddamn impeccable?
Thank you, Sparkling Butter. That's a choice for them to love that. So I appreciate that choice.
I think you objectively sing pretty well.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
I do like your voice.
I do all right. I do all right.
So yeah, I realize that's not actually a question. That's just a compliment with a question mark. But I share his opinion. Viva La Ginga asks, what were your musical influences growing up, and what instruments do you play in total? Hashtag Craigmania.
You know, growing up in music, I mean, I've been influenced from everybody, from Bach to Earth, Wind, and Fire, and but there was a time where I was all Luther Vandross. Like I don't know if y'all know Luther, but smooth singing, you know, R&B crooner, and he had this keyboardist, Nat Adderley Jr. So I would just be like listening and learning his songs, and that's what I would do. So there's that, and then Earth, Wind, and Fire. You know, I love funk music. I go all around the spectrum. So I would throw those out there to start. And in total, I play piano, and that's really it. I mean, I pick at some other stuff. I can keep a beat on the drums, and I can play guitar like one finger at a time. and I learned a little sax because I was in Get On Up, so I started learning that. So maybe I'll continue with that one day, but for the most part, just piano.
So you like this very like kind of soulful, romantic music, but you obviously see a source of humor in it as well.
I love slow songs, and I love sad songs, like for some reason. Like I always go towards the minor, but yes, to answer that question.
Yeah, because you had that group with, let's see, the L. Witherspoon and Chucky band with Someone's Fucking My Girl, or what was the name of that song?
Somebody's Fucking My Lady.
Yeah, that's right. She's a lady. And it's really well done. You guys obviously know the genre and the ins and outs of it. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, Jerry Minor, extremely talented. He was like, hey, I got this idea. And it was based on, remember R. Kelly and Ron Isley would do that Mr. Big kind of stuff. It was kind of based, like he was looking at it like that. And then he came up, you know, and I sat down and we did the lyrics, and voila.
And you continue to sing in lots of things you do.
That particular song, that particular video got me into many doors. Like I remember going to the office and to my audition for Daryl, and they were like, well, I don't even know if I was auditioning for Daryl. They didn't know who they wanted as Jim at that time.
Okay.
So they just gave you some paragraphs to read and to see if you could, you know, make them laugh with it. But I went into that audition, and Greg Daniels was like, it doesn't get any funnier than that, talking about the song. And I was like,
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
And also Apatow had seen it, and then I went in and got knocked up.
That's pretty amazing.
That's incredible.
One song just opening doors.
Yeah. Plaid and Glasses wants to know, will there ever be a Craig Robinson comedy song album, or just an album in general?
Yes.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Is it in the works?
Absolutely. It's on its way. It's on its way. I would like to think it's highly anticipated.
It is.
Long awaited.
Yeah. Been waiting a long time.
It's about finding the time to get it in motion.
Is it gonna are you gonna go in the studio, or are you thinking about maybe doing like a live recording?
I think there'll be a mixture there. Definitely gonna be some studio work, because I have my band, the Nasty Delicious, who are incredibly talented, you know, each and every one of them. So we definitely got to get some stuff laid down there, and then we have some stuff that we've done live shows. So you know, we try to get some of that on there.
Nice.
Well, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Day one.
And I'm sure that a concert tour will be in the works shortly after the release of the album.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely. Yeah, we just did these like Pepsi commercial things. Did you see those by chance?
Yeah.
On the internet? And so what's fun about that is like going out to perform. Yes, we have comedy, but we also have music. So not everybody knows that that's coming. So it's nice to get us out there, and they can see. So when they know when I'm coming with the Nasty Delicious, they know it's a party.
Yeah.
The Nasty Delicious. I can hear what that sounds like already just based on the name.
8 people in the band.
It's going to be incredible
horns,
live show.
Bass guitar, drums.
So, big fan of ours. His name is Black Nerd on the Reddit. He got a long one. He says, Craig, you're fucking amazing. I think I've seen almost all films, even Rapturepalooza. What do you make of the current rise in quote-unquote black nerds with entertainers like Donald Glover, Kendrick Lamar, and Jaden Smith shying away from the stereotypical roles of black people in society and the entertainment industry? Username relevant.
Well, thank you, Black Nerd. All those people you named, I applaud them. I always feel like to each his own. Everybody has their own hustle, and if the more you are yourself, the better chance I think you have of success. And so, I say go, and more power to all of them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. He made us do that question because he's our webmaster on our Reddit. He threatened to shut the whole thing down if we didn't use one of his questions.
Ask my question.
And we owe the guy.
Yeah.
So there you go. We're even.
We have, I guess, Abel Newsy asks, what character that you've played most accurately resembles yourself? Would it be the new...
Oh, by the way, Black Nerd saw Rapturepalooza. I got to shout out that. Look, that's easily the best I've been in any movie so far.
Yeah, you play the devil, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I need to see this one. I remember seeing trailers for it.
That was so much fun to play. So, I love doing that one.
Yeah.
But okay, go ahead now.
What character have you played that most accurately resembles yourself? We were both talking about the new show that's coming out. That seems like it goes right along with your previous life.
Mr. Robinson.
Yeah. And what can you tell us about the show?
It's based on my life as a school teacher, and then really I was doing more comedy than music. Mm-hmm. But this is about mixing up. Now I have the Nasty Delicious and being a school teacher at the same time. So the pilot starts off with me as a substitute teacher. That shows me in the club, jamming with my band. And then I run into this old girlfriend, and she says she's teaching at our old high school. I'm like, well, I substitute music teach, when I'm broke. So then she says, she tells me where she is. And so I kind of stalk her, actually, to go see, I get a job at the school to substitute, and then y'all look like y'all falling asleep.
I'm listening.
I'm listening very intently.
You know what's crazy? It's some things are changing with the pilot, so I'm trying to edit and figure out
live edit.
what to say.
You did the pilot a year or so ago.
I did the pilot a couple years ago, but that one's not going. Then we did a new pilot. Mm-hmm. The first one was single cam, and then now we're doing a multicam, which is live studio audience. Yeah. So it turned out really nice, but there are still some Hollywood changes to be made.
So you don't know what it's exactly going to be.
I still don't know.
Is there any tentative release date or expectation of when it might?
Maybe this summer.
Okay, cool.
Maybe.
Awesome.
NBC, 6 episodes. So we're looking at that, but like you said, there was one 2 years ago that we did, and that one's never going to be released. So we'll see.
It'll show up on the internet one day, I'm sure.
Yeah,
everything ends up on the internet.
But to answer this question, it is this character. It resembles me because it's Mr. Robinson, but it's since I'm not writing it, so it's a collaboration and an idea of what Mr. Robinson is. The character that most accurately resembles myself is probably This Is the End, where I played Craig Robinson, except for the part where I talk about killing a man. I did not do that.
Okay,
I believe
so that's out there now. You guys can stop worrying. I still have the take your panties off.
Take your panties off.
So, half the comments that we got
are just hashtags
just
with that on
that.
it. Yeah.
They're not questions.
Take your panties off. That's give it up for Seth and Evan on that one. They wanted that movie. They want us to be ourselves, and they remembered me having a "Take Your Panties Off" T-shirt.
Because that was your shirt.
It's my shirt at a party, and they were like, hey, can you wear that shirt? It's like, all right.
The role depends on it.
So, and the company that I make them, this company JSLV, and you can get a shirt at goodbyepanties.com.
There you go. Link in the description. We'll put it in there.
So they end up making my shirts for the movie, and I would usually wear their shirts anyway. So now you got. I would just come in, like, let's say I had this on, and I'll literally put this back on because that's the wardrobe. So they want everything to be as close as possible.
So you would take off your panties shirt to put on
I
the
didn't-
exact same take off your panties shirt.
Kinda. Yes.
All right. Well,
Movie magic. Continuity.
okay. The next one we're gonna talk is from the Jewish Centaur, and he asks. So this is kind of like a gaming related company. Are you a gamer, and what games do you like to play if you are?
I had to stop
Oh yeah.
gaming
Why is that?
because I would not leave my apartment. So I don't game. Can you say it like that? Is that right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
that
guess.
would be the- yeah.
I don't game. The last thing I played was the remember Nightmare?
Nightmare?
Oh,
Oh, it's like Xbox horror game or?
it was Cervantes, Nightmare. These are the characters.
Is it the fighting game?
Yes,
I think
yes.
is it Soul Calibur?
Soul Calibur.
Yeah, Soul Calibur.
Oh.
I nailed it. Yes.
was a
I won't look like an idiot on the
Beast.
internet.
That's
you
Soul
knew.
Caliber. Yeah. So and my character I love to play was Nightmare, and I would literally just look up and be like, oh my gosh, I was supposed to be somewhere 5 hours ago.
So fighting games in general, or like, did you grow up on anything like Nintendo?
I grew up on Nintendo. Yeah, Mario Brothers and Centipede and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, there you got your answer, Jewish
Yeah.
Centaur.
Everyone plays games, or
Yeah.
did at some point.
Play games.
Let's see. Mick Smackintosh.
Nope.
Mick Smack-a-Bitch asks.
These are people on the internet that live
Yeah.
behind anonymity, so just take that.
Are we live right now?
No, we're not live.
Okay.
God, I would be terrified. Mick Smack-a-Bitch says, "You are probably the most likable person in the business, but have you thought about doing a role as a serious villain / bad guy?"
Thanks, Mix Macabitch, for that thought. I definitely would do some serious. I dream about that kind of thing. I daydream about that, about just like, being a guy like, about being a villain. Being like, you have one chance. I don't know. But,
At least you give him one chance. That's a
would-
pretty nice villain.
That's a villain, yeah.
But he's lying. He doesn't really have
Oh,
one
okay,
chance. That's the thing.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, I would love to. I look forward to the roles that are coming and those challenges. And I remember I did a short. Okay, it was called Memphis Calling. All right, and I played a prisoner. And the prisoner, here's the thing. He had one last phone call. He's on his way to the execution chair. And he had one phone call, so he just dialed the number on his uniform.
His prison ID.
His prison ID. And this lady answered, and she thought it was a doctor calling to tell her the sex of the baby. And so we have this conversation, and then she, first she's ready to go. She's ready to hang up. And I'm like, hey, you're my last person to talk to. Whatever. So she ends up staying. We had this nice conversation, and and then she puts me on hold because the doctor calls, and then as soon as she puts me on hold, they're like, Memphis, you gotta go. I'm like, can I just? And like, nope. So then, as I walk away, slow motion, you see me looking at the phone, right? So it's
dark.
pretty, dramatic.
You never got to find out the sex of the
7 minutes
baby.
short, whatever. And then I went to a film festival where they played it. As soon as my face came on the screen, this lady started laughing. I was like, right. So I was like, okay, we'll have to figure that out.
I guess so. Since you are looking forward to possibly doing it one day, who do you think like throughout film history is the most badass villain of all time?
In film, can I add TV?
You can add
Sure.
TV too.
Man, it's so rough. Giancarlo Esposito in Breaking Bad.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
gotta see.
absolutely, yeah,
Freaking incredible.
Terrifying.
yeah.
Go home, Walter. Remember he called him.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing about him is he's so calm when he's doing everything that it's the most unsettling thing to watch.
When he
ever.
takes the poison, he poisons himself
Yeah.
and then tries to throw up. And he's like straightening his tie and just
Yeah.
calmly getting down to throw up cyanide into a toilet.
Yeah, that's a good choice. Yeah,
He's loosening his tie.
Even when he got half his face blown off.
yeah, still have time to do it up.
It's
yeah.
been 2 years.
Oh, right, I'm dead.
Yes, no spoiler alert needed. It's if you
It's
haven't
been
seen
2
that yet.
years. You've had your chance.
But awesome, dude. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out
Hey,
with us.
my
And
pleasure.
Everyone,
Thank you
go
for
see
having
Hot
me.
Tub Time Machine 2.
Right on. Yes. Thank you all.
Anything else that you want to plug? Maybe the new tour or anything like that? Is that still in the future? Or?
When you see me coming to your city, just come on down and be ready to sing and laugh and possibly dance.
Do you have any tour dates coming up soon?
No.
Okay, well, check the
Sometime
internet.
soon.
Sometime.
Twitter?
Yeah, I'm Mr. Craig Robinson, Mr. Craig Robinson. Same for my Instagram, which I'm never on.
Okay.
And I have a website. I have to
Social
start
security number?
using.
We'll get the website. We'll put it on there so people can just buy the Take Your Panties Off shirts in bulk.
Goodbyepanties.com.
Yes, there you go. Go there. And then follow them on Twitter for tour dates and everything else. Thanks for joining
Right on.
us.
Hey, thank you
Awesome.
very much. Y'all.